Hello students, in this unit we are going to learn about drama, a type of literary form, and also we are going to look at the themes of various dramas by renowned dramatists and also explore the various forms of drama. So drama, it is present as a fiction or a fact in a form that could be acted before an audience. So unlike a novel, unlike a short story or a poetry, this literary form is acted out. So drama is defined as a literary form which showcases a fictional representation with the help of dialogue and performance. So it is considered as an imitation of an action and it tells the story through dialogues. The word drama is derived from the Greek word which means action. So, drama involves multiple art using words, music, scenic effects, the gestures of the actors, and the organizing talents of the producer. So, all these what makes a drama. So, it is written with the purpose of presenting a fiction. It can be either a fiction or a reality, but it will be presented in front of people, in front of an audience. So its main objective is successful representation of the plot to be viewed by audience. So therefore, the textual portion in a drama is always dependent on love and acceptance of the readers. So unlike other literary forms, this literary form, that is drama, it is always dependent on the viewers. So during Middle Ages in England, the drama began as a form of a literary art. However, it is difficult to trace the exact period of when it began in the English scene. So when the Romans came to England, they set up a huge amphitheaters and certainly the plays were being acted in those times. So as the Romans left, the culture too came to a standstill. In the Middle Ages, the clowns and minstrels used to sing long heroic poems or epics or ballads in praise of the court, and even their costumes were motley ones and were easily recognized as those welcome figures at ceremonies, public places, king's court, or anywhere. And in England, if we go by the chronology, such religious plays have been valued as the greatest part of the national tradition and culture. The importance were given to the religious plays. So they also became precursors of morality and mystery plays. In the morality plays, people acted as virtues and vices. These plays were written by religious authors or by the church clerics. So every man, it is one of the popular morality play till the 15th century. And this morality play was based on religious lessons and they developed naturally. These kind of plays, they mirrored genuine truth, realism, and they also evoke pathos. The development of drama owed its growth to new scholars from the universities in England and the Renaissance, which forcefully pushed the active and ambitious minds to explore and inculcate the classical culture. So then, the university wits enunciated the art of drama in the forms of tragedy and comedy, both with innovation and tradition in Elizabethan age. However, in Shakespeare's age, followed together with Ben Jonson's comedy of humors. The restoration comedy of manners also followed the next. Again, drama developed its space in the 18th century with Jonson's historical plays, but they were not recognizable as their predecessors. So, in 20th century theatre introduced many new styles and trends in modern drama from all over the world. In the 20th century, English drama trends dominated, which was subtle and thought-stimulating such as realism and myth, introduced by the psychological studies inspired by Sigmund Freud and also Carl Jung. So in the 20th century, William Butler Yeats brought drama back in the Irish theatre, exploring the medieval age with Celtic undercurrents, and many followed his trend. And George Bernard Shaw, Thomas Stearns Eliot were also the two major 20th century figures who used drama to convey their ideas, exploring different themes. So with the insight of all these things, a poetic form of realism was expressed based on research conducted by two psychologists such as Sigmund Freud and Carl Collier. And there are, now let us look at the types of drama: the tragedy, the comedy, the tragic comedy, the farce, the mask, the one act play, the absurd drama, the soliloquy, the aside, the chorus, the melodrama, the dramatic monologue. So these are the types of drama. Now, there are, under these things, we have categories of tragedy. Tragedy is an important theme of plays, and under tragedy we have different set of categories. It can be divided into two types: classical Greek tragedy and romantic tragedy. The classical tragedy was based on Greek conventions like the observance of the unity of time, action, and place, and also the employment of chorus. The classical tragedy dealt with great legends of mythical age. Now, classical tragedy is a genre of story in which a hero is brought down by his or her own flaws, usually by ordinary human flaws. So, flaws like greed, overambition, or even an excess of love, honor, or loyalty, all these will lead the main character into tragedy. So, in any tragedy, we start with a tragic hero, usually in his prime. The hero is successful, he's respected, and he's happy, but he has some tragic flaw that will ultimately cause his downfall. So, usually, the plot of the story follows a gradual descent from greatness to destruction. So, it's especially important that the hero end up isolated from all of his friends and companions. And in the end, we feel deeply sad and pity for the hero. So here, the pathos is evoked. So, but we feel a sense of understanding that the story wants us to guard against the ordinary flaws that brought down the hero. So here, Aristotle identifies the elements of classical tragedy. He based primarily on the work of the playwright Aeschylus, Euripides, and Sophocles. So, classical tragedy is the imitation of a single action in which a hero of a high status falls from fortune to misfortune. So, in the beginning of this story, in the beginning of the drama, it is always the hero will be of high status, he's very happy, everything is good for him. But eventually, as the story progresses, as the plot progresses, he is led to misfortunes. So the fall must occur because of a tragic flaw or some error or shortcoming in an otherwise good protagonist not to be wise or depravity. So the purpose of tragedy in Aristotle's view is to provoke pity and terror in the audience, leading to a catharsis or cleansing of these emotions. The best example for classical tragedy is Oedipus Rex by Sophocles. Then the next type of tragedy is romantic tragedy. Shakespeare was a huge fan of a good tragedy, and some of his best plays are his tragedies. For example, Macbeth, it tells the story of a noble Scottish warrior whose wife convinces him to betray and murder the king. So, over the course of the play, Macbeth gradually isolates himself from all of his friends and supporters, growing more and more dependent on his wife. Because of his love, or he is more dedicated towards his wife's ambition, which becomes his tragic flaw. So, in the end, he is destroyed by the very people he once fought side by side with. And another romantic tragedy examples are Romeo Juliet, Hamlet, Julius Caesar, Antony and Cleopatra. All these becomes perfect examples for romantic tragedy. Thank you.